Floating the Boise River is a summer tradition in Boise, but it's important to remember that the river is still a powerful natural force. Earlier this week, as we mentioned earlier in the show, a tragic death on the river reminded all of us just how quickly things can turn dangerous, even in familiar waters. With floating season well underway, Boise Fire is urging everyone to take safety seriously. So joining us live is Boise Fire Division Chief Mike Walker to talk about all things safety. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Now, we have a growing Idaho, many people moving here. So if they are trying to float for the very first time, what are some tips?
Well, I think probably the most important thing that we would like to relay to people that are going to float is what they're getting into. This is not the lazy river at Roaring Springs. This is a wild river. And although we do our best to mitigate what hazards we know, we can never really truly say that the river is safe to float. So because of that, we want people to take accountability for their own safety, and there's a number of ways that they can do that. Probably the first thing is awareness. They should visit floattheboise.org. There's a lot of information there on how they can keep themselves safe. Also, it lists, there's an interactive map that shows hazards that are on the river.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it's different. I mean, with the waters, the currents there just change almost every day. I mean, what can you tell us about that specific matter?
Well, yes. So the river flows go up and down almost daily, sometimes, depending on the needs for the river and all the partners. And when that happens, it changes the hazards we see on the river. So there's a number of hazards that we are particularly interested in. We have what are called sweepers, which are low-hanging branches that can sweep you off your floating device. Strainers, those are really hazardous because those are tree branches or bushes that are in the river that will trap you and let water go through. We also have bridge abutments. We have a number of rafts that get wrapped around those every year, very dangerous. And those will all change as the water levels change in the river.
And speaking of floating device, so we always see some of those, maybe some flamingos out there, those fun floaties out there. But while they're fun and nice to look at, those aren't recommended. No,
those are great for a swimming pool, but they are not designed, and they're quite hazardous to have in a swift water environment. They're just too lightweight. They don't have a lot of flotation. They can tear really easily. And probably one of the biggest hazards of those is they're really hard to steer and navigate. And a part of that being aware when you're on the river of what is coming up and the hazards. And when you see one of those hazards, you need to be able to get out of the way of it. If you're in one of those lightweight flotation devices, you're probably gonna have a really difficult time getting away from those.
So what is the proper floaty to use?
We would recommend a durable raft. You can rent those at Barber Park. They also rent inner tubes. The inner tubes still, without paddles, they're difficult to navigate too.
Yeah, I often see, people go as a group with their friends, and they tie their floaties together to stay close. Is that recommended?
No, that we recommend absolutely the opposite. That creates a lot of problems for us, problems for them. It makes it even more difficult to navigate away from those hazards. And where we really see this is on the bridge abutments. We get tubes that have been tied together, wrap around that. It's very hazardous.
What about drinking?
Drinking is illegal on the river, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Because drinking impairs your ability to control yourself physically, also your judgment. So obviously we recommend, as well as does the law, that you do not drink.
Yeah. Any other tips or common mistakes that people do?
I would say just check out floattheboise.org. There's a really good wealth of information there to help you be as safe as possible when you get out there and float.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here. Very important reminders while you're out there celebrating the holiday weekend. Just stay safe. We'll be right back after this.